What's up, guys? This is B Broke Executive, and today I'm going to be talking about the biggest loss a single stock and single company has ever given me, why I bought that company, if I still own that company, and just overall, what was I thinking, what am I still thinking, and why is it still in my portfolio to this day. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. Now, if you're following me on Instagram, you will have seen on Wednesday I posted a screenshot of this company, which it's not much of a secret, it's Delta Airlines, and how many shares I own and just how far down I am. Since that screenshot, it's pretty much the same amount, and I am sitting down at almost $60, and that's because I bought Delta Airlines primarily right at the top, right at the peak, right in the beginning of January, right before everything came crashing down at the end of February. And since then, I have bought a couple more shares, but as a result, I'm still looking at a pretty bad loss overall. And it's the highest dollar value loss, but not quite the highest percentage loss. I'll kind of talk more about why I still view it as my biggest loser, despite the fact that percentage loss isn't the highest in terms of the negative value. So I originally bought Delta Airlines on January 2nd. I bought 3 shares at an average cost of about $58. Since then, February and March happened, and I watched my original investment drop to almost a 63% loss before the market bottomed on March 23rd. Since then, the stock price has gone back up, as well as I did purchase additional shares literally the day before they announced they were cutting their dividend, which I'll also be getting into that because if you guys recall, I am a dividend investor, so primarily the companies I'm looking at do in fact pay dividends, and I did buy 3 shares of Delta Airlines at an average cost of about $24 24 hours before they cut their dividend, which I find a bit ironic and kind of funny in hindsight. But sometimes that's just kind of how the markets go. You know, I can't predict the future, otherwise I would have known not to buy Delta when I did. However, it's something you just kind of live and learn with. You'll kind of learn how to stomach your losses and just overall be much more satisfied with your investing. Because if you can remember that you liked a company at $100, if it falls down to $50, it's still that same company, unless there was, in fact, news of something going on, something you have to consider. But overall, it wasn't something fundamentally wrong with Delta Airlines. It was just the overall market and the whole travel issue got out of hand, and as a result, the stock price fell because of that. So, looking at Delta Airlines one-line graph, you can kind of see it is down about 45% over the past 12 months, but that is obviously not what I bought in. I originally bought in right around up here. That was about the $58. Other than the second time I bought it was going to be right here in that little peak. So my average cost is about $41.50. I am down about 22-23%, which does come out to be about a $58 loss overall. And again, as I was saying, right at this little peak up here is right when they announced they were cutting their dividend. That's why the stock dropped immediately afterward. And you can see it has been recovering as time has gone on. And it is showing signs that it could potentially get back to where it is in the near future. I honestly don't expect it to within the next 2-3 months, like many stocks were able to recover in that time frame. This is probably going to be about a 1 to 2 year wait before we get back to those previous all-time highs. So again, now you can see a bunch of the numbers kind of associated with the account, how much I've put in versus how much I currently have. I did pay almost $250 for all 6 shares, and I'm currently sitting at about $190 with the market value, which does equate to that $58 loss and the 23% negative return on investment. You can see the price to earnings ratio is negative, which is why it doesn't show up. Same thing for the dividend yield. There is no dividend right now, so that's also 0. As well as the market cap of about $20 billion is down about 45% from its previous all-time high, sitting right around $30 billion. So these are all numbers just kind of solidifying the fact that this stock has lost value and a good amount of value. And you can also see how much, in terms of the portfolio, of my portfolio, this stock makes up. It is about 4%, which does make it one of my larger holdings, but not anywhere near my largest. And again, this is kind of showing the breakdown within my portfolio. So you could see it was 3.99% of my overall portfolio. Within the transportation sector of my portfolio, it is about half. I do own UNP, which I do have almost an equivalent dollar value, but that does equate to only 1 share of that company. As well as you can see, I also have Norfolk Southern in there as well. Do not currently own it. It's one of those stocks I'd like to branch into. They do have, both these companies do have consistent dividends that have not been cut over the past couple of months. as well as right above my head, kind of if I lean out of the way, you can see all the breakdowns in terms of relative sector size, and transportation is up there. It's right around the average of my account, with the exception of some of the bigger ones like ETFs and the real estate. Those are some of my bigger ones. You can see technology is fairly high. I don't necessarily want it to be that high, but because I just bought into Apple at the beginning of this month, it does look slightly overweight compared to the 6% I would like it to be. Again, I'll kind of lean out of the way. You can see the real estate or REITs right at the bottom there. That's currently about 12.5%. I do want to see that up towards a 15% in terms of overall monetary value in my account. That's why I was saying in the previous video how I was looking to be getting into buying more real estate stocks within the next deposit at the beginning of the next month. Then obviously moving forward, if you guys would like, I can dive into what companies are in each of these sectors, how much I would like allocated in terms of percentage in my overall portfolio. If you guys want to see that, just comment below. Let me know which sectors you want to see. I will probably eventually do all of them, but I can focus on certain ones for you guys at certain times. Or I could make it kind of part of a monthly series where each month I dive into each sector and show you guys what stocks are in there, what stocks I'm buying, which stocks I'm holding, what their percent yields are. I can kind of repeat with this slide and kind of show you guys all the numbers, what I own, how many shares I own, the dividend yields, and kind of my returns within those companies. So that I think that'd be something good to do. Let me know what you guys would like to see, which sectors I should start with, if I should make this kind of a monthly series, just like how at the beginning of the month I did the portfolio review. I plan on doing that again as well. This is something to really just help show that transparency within my account, as well as show you guys that you don't need a ton of money to be able to diversify yourself within all of these sectors. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering what I plan on doing with Delta Airlines, because they did cut their dividend, which means it doesn't necessarily fit my account and how I've been planning and building my portfolio over time. Now, the easy and quick answer is I'm not selling, I'm just holding. Part of it is because I don't want to actually realize these losses. I don't want to necessarily admit the fact that I have lost the money. I would like to wait for the stock to go up in value before I make a better decision. And I kind of want to see how this plays out, because obviously the travel has been greatly affected. And as a result, it's kind of hard for me to want to make an informed decision into the future with what's going on today. Now, one of the other reasons why I don't necessarily want to sell this stock right away is because Delta Airlines doesn't make all of their money just through flying people around on airplanes. They do have the American Express, like Delta Airlines card, and I do have a graphic kind of showing that Delta Airlines does make a significant amount of their money within this partnership with American Express. Here you can see a graph. This is actually from the investors presentation that they did at the end of December, kind of showing how much revenue they've made from this American Express, Delta Airlines card. This is a card that I actually personally know several people who have this card, as well as someone who actually uses this card for their business account. So I know for a fact this is a popular card that many people use, and that makes sense with the numbers you're seeing. And in 2019, that number was in fact confirmed. Delta Airlines did make about $4 billion worth of revenue through their partnership card with American Express, and that equates to almost the same amount of money that they spent on just buying new airliners for the company. So again, Delta Airlines is the biggest loss I have suffered on this account, and it's not the only loss. Obviously, I do have companies that are down aside from Delta Airlines. I actually do have some ETFs that are not showing a positive return right now. But because of the monetary loss associated with Delta Airlines, that is why I've said that it is the biggest loss I have suffered thus far. Now, I can show you guys what some of these other companies I've lost money are, and kind of how I'm looking into them, and why I feel holding on to these companies, even though I have lost some amount of money, is still okay in the long run, because obviously I do not do investment for the short term. I'm not trying to trade and make a quick profit. I am looking for companies that will still be around 5, 10, 15 years from now, still paying that dividend and growing it over time. Realistically, I see Delta Airlines being able to pay a dividend again eventually, maybe not until 5 years from now, but I do see Delta Airlines being able to begin the dividend process and growing that dividend again like they were doing so prior to the year 2020. All right, so one more time, if you want me to go into certain sectors, about what I own, why I'm in that sector, and how much I would like in that sector. Comment below which sectors you want to see. Make sure you subscribe so when those sector reviews do come out, I can make them a regular thing, and I know you guys are excited to watch them. Give a thumbs up on this video so I can feel a little bit better about how much money I've lost, because it's free. It doesn't cost you guys anything, and it shows that you guys are in support of me being able to, sit here and explain the fact that I can and do lose money in the stock market, because I like the transparency of being able to say not every stock I pick is a winner. I feel it's much more realistic, as well as it makes me seem like a much more honest person. If you guys want to comment and let me know about some stocks that you've lost money on, what are some companies that you own that have cut their dividends, you can hop over to the Broke Executive subreddit page. I will have that linked in the description as well. And last but not least, make sure you sign up for Robinhood and get your 1 free stock. Sign up for Weevil, get 2 stocks. The first one when you sign up, the second one when you fund your account up to $100. That stock could be worth up to $1,600 in value, which would be far more than the money I have lost in the stock market and far more than the money I've made in the stock market. So that'd be one great way to get an instantaneous return and really jumpstart you guys on your portfolio. So with that, I will see you executives in the next video.